Hi everyone, I am R.V. Kiran, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Chevrolet Engineering College. Today, I am going to deliver a topic on advanced materials, and the topic is shape memory alloys, which is the recent advanced structure of the advanced materials used for the industry purposes and the research purpose. In this lecture, I want to discuss about the topic of shape memory alloys and its applications, advantages and disadvantages in the industries, and also it deals about the how we are making the shape memory alloys and what are the phases it will be constructed and what are the types of shape memory alloys. So going to the first slide, we are going to review the types of materials. So the basic types of materials are classified as metals, ceramics, polymers, composites and semiconductors. So these are all the regular types of materials what we have used in our daily life or industry purpose or by research people also. In this type of materials, the above one, that is metals, ceramics and polymers, are integrally used in the composites. So based on the types of materials, we have divided and classified the composites into two types. So the classification and all the explanation have been delivered in the last lecture. So these metals, ceramics and polymers are combined to form a composites. So these are the types of materials here. Next, what are shape memory alloys? So what is the meaning of shape memory alloys? What is the purpose of shape memory alloys? Why we are using the shape memory alloys in the recent trends of advanced materials? So going to the definition of shape memory alloys, these are metallic alloys that undergoes a solid to solid phase transformation which can exhibit the recoverable strains. So here we are using the solid to solid phase transformation. So solid to solid means we are creating the recrystallization temperature here. So in the recrystallization temperature, the bonds or molecules are from the liquid state and converging it into the solid state. But here we are using the alloys into a solid to solid phase transformation which can exhibit different types of strains, that is recoverable strains. So the example here for the best shape memory alloy are nitinol. So nitinol is the good example for the shape memory alloys. So in the bottom picture we are seeing the sample picture of the shape memory alloy transformation. So first one is the basic alloy or metallic alloy, and that are deforming into a cooling state, that is solid state, and then it is again generating heat into the metallic alloy, then it comes as a straight solid or hollow bar. So we are using here solid to solid phase transformation, and these starting and ending are solid to solid phase, but between the cooling transformation the alloy are deformed into an another shape. So first one is the a long shaft model, but by deformation it is bending as a C clamp. So here you can see the C type shape here on cooling. Then it is when heated into deformed structure, then it again regained its own structure. So own structure means it is a solid shaft and it gains its own structure, that is a solid shaft. In between the transformation it can bend into any shape, it can transforms into any shape, that is called in cooling. So the example is here used is nitinol. Nitinol is the best shape memory alloy used in the research purpose in the recent times. Next, we going to the history of the shape memory metals. So shape memory alloys or shape memory metals. So in the 1932 it has started. A German scientist named Evo Lander discovers the pseudoelectric properties of AuCd cadmium alloy. So Austrium cadmium alloy. So in the 1932 year. Then again in the 1949 year, a memory effect of AuCd reported by Crudno and Candros. So two Italian scientists regained its structure and rediscovered its structure and memory effect of AuCd. And next in the 1967 year at Naval Ordnance Laboratory, Bowler scientists discovered the shape memory effect in nickel titanium alloy. So it is basically short formed as nitinol, and research trends also considered and conducted on the nitinol alloy only. So that is known as nickel titanium alloy, which proved to be a major breakthrough in the field of shape memory alloys. So 1967 year is the major year for the history of shape memory alloys. So in that year, nitinol has been discovered by the Bowler scientist. So Bowler scientist is a German scientist. He had invented or discovered the nitinol alloy, which is a good breakthrough in the field of shape memory alloys. And in the year 1970 to 1980, so in that decade, the reports in the field of, so the reports in nickel titanium alloy has good implants being used in the medical applications also. So it has been developed as an implants. So these material used in the composition of other material and made different types of materials there, and different properties have been gained there. Next, in the mid 1990s, memory alloys start to become widespread in the medicine and soon move to the other applications. So in the history of memory metals or memory alloys, these are basically used for the medical applications in the starting of 1980 decade and 1990 decade, but in the 2000 decade, so 20 in the 20th century, it has moved to the newer applications and other applications. So it has taken to a other application to the research. Next one is the types of shape memory alloys. So different types of shape memory alloys and its composition and its temperature range and hysteresis. So first one is the AgCd, agricium cadmium. So 44 by 49 at percentage of cadmium. So 44% of cadmium is used in the composition, and its transformation range temperature is minus 190 degrees to minus 50 degrees. So which is very high. And next one also Au cadmium, Australium cadmium, and it consists of 46.5% cadmium. So 30 to 100 degrees temperature has been used here. Next composition is copper aluminum nickel, which is less composition than the other transformation compositions. Next is copper strontium, copper zinc X. X means micromolecules, that is mini molecules used minor constituents, that is silicon, strontium, aluminum. Next, nickel aluminum, nickel titanium, ferrum platinum, manganese copper, iron manganese silicon. So these are all the different types of shape memory alloys. So different shape memory alloys used in the transformation composition. So these are all the transformation compositions and type range. So in these, when you see the nickel titanium alloy, it consists a composition of 49 by 51, which is equal to the range of two compositions. So 49% nickel and 51% titanium is a equal composition, that is 2% difference is there, but it is equal to the composition transformation temperature also minus 50 to 110 degrees. So it is more reliable temperature transformation range. And last one is the hysteresis is also within the range, that is approximately equal to 30. Hysteresis temperature is 30 degrees. So we can use the nickel titanium alloy in the all composition temperatures range. So that is in the regular temperature also, room temperature also, we can use the different types of shape memory alloys. Next one is the ferromagnetic shape memory alloys. So ferromagnetic shape memory alloys consists of ferrum and magnetic properties. So this shows the shape memory effect in response to a magnetic field. So the title itself shows the ferromagnetic range. So magnetic field is imposed in the alloys which we are used. So and for the other materials also the magnetic property is induced in that. Next, second one is the deformation due to the magnetic field is known as magnetoelastic deformation. So the magnetic field is imposed in the alloy composition and the materials used in between the magnetic field is deformed into the core structure. So that is known as the magnetoelastic deformation. So the deformation induced in the magnetic field due to change of properties in the alloys is known as magnetoelastic deformation. Next, nickel titanium alloy is non-magnetic. So this is a non-magnetic material, and the examples of the ferromagnetic shape memory alloys are nickel manganese gallium and ferrum sodium and ferrum platinum. So these are different types of examples used in the ferromagnetic types of shape memory alloys. So in this slide we are going to describe the phase transformation in shape memory alloys. So the different types of phase transformations here. So we are using the two types of phase transformations, that is martensite and second one is the austenite. So austenite is available in the pure form of cementite, so which is at a high temperature, that is 1100 degrees temperature we can find the austenite range, and in between the range, so in between the room temperature and the austenite range we are combining the martensite. So we find the martensite transformation there. So here we are seeing the characteristic temperatures of these two transformations, that is martensitic transformation and the austenitic transformation. So first one defines the austenite range to the martensite. So martensite range is twinned here. Twinned means doubled here. So first we are going to the austenite range. So AF is there. AF means finish, austenitic finish, and then AS comes to the range. AS means starting stage of the austenite, and then goes to the finished starting stage of martensite, and then goes to the finished state of martensite, and the molecules twinned there into martensites twinned. So we are using the high temperature here. So austenite range means up to 1100 degrees temperature. We are starting at a temperature of 725 degrees temperature. So from the range is known as, and the transformation is known as austenitic transformation. So on this transformation we are decreasing the temperature to the martensite transformation. So we are decreasing the temperature, we change the transformation also. So first higher range is the austenite finish temperature. So austenite finish means last stage of austenite, so border stage of the austenite, and then we are decreasing it into the starting state of austenite, that means 725 degrees. Then it gets to the starting stage of martensite and ending stage of the martensite. So the molecules or the alloys in the shape memory alloys transformed into austenite range to martensite range. Then in the second diagram we are seeing the deformation state. So when the molecules or when the bar or when the alloy going to martensite and then returning to the austenite range. So here martensite is tuned here again, then it goes to the martensite finish range and then goes to martensite start range and then goes to austenite start and austenite finish. So the molecules here get its original shape and deformed into the original shape. So in the first picture, the austenite is changing its shape. So when we are seeing the long solid bar into a deformed structure, deformed means bending structure, then the bending structure is transformed into the its original shape, that is a long solid shaft bar. So these are the characteristics temperatures here. Characteristics means transformation temperatures have been added here. Next, how these SMS are working. So how these shape memory alloys work on alloys. So we are drawing a graph here basis on the load and temperature. So on the top of the left side we are seeing the austenite range. So austenite have been cooled and decreased to tuned martensite, that is we are reducing the temperature here. So by reducing the temperature we have been cooled the alloy and the molecules in the phase transformation or in the metal or alloy have been rearranged here. There we are seeing the bending shape of the twinned martensite. Next it gets to the deformed martensite. So we are seeing the here we are seeing the transformed temperature of the deformed martensite. Then we are again heating the deformed martensite and it comes to its original shape, that is austenite range. So then again it comes to the original shape, that is the austenite range. So here we are seeing the graph basis on the load and temperature. So when the load increases, the temperature has been reduced. So that is the cooling. And when the temperature rises, the load has to be decreased. So it is the basic application in the shape memory alloys here. Next, we are going to see the martensitic transformations. So one of the major transformations in the shape memory alloys. So first one is the martensitic transformation, second one is the austenitic transformation. So these martensitic transformations have been triggering for two transformations, two basic type of transformations here. First one is the stress transformation, second one is the temperature transformation. So when we go to stress transformation, so it is based on the molecules arranged in the manner in the austenitic region. So when there are higher stress molecules in the austenitic range, it will be developed and reduce the temperature into some other martensitic transformation, that is it is converting into the austenitic range to the martensitic range. So here we are reducing the temperature. So then going to the temperature transformation, that there are two types of transformations here. First one is the austenitic, second one is the martensitic. So in the martensitic transformation, the temperature can be held here is basically less. So compared to the room temperature, it is somewhat better, but comparing to the austenitic region, it is less. So the temperature here used is somewhat less in the stress strain curve. So how does it work? So basically what is the purpose and what is the steps included in the shape memory alloys? So step 1 is the austenite phase. So it has the higher temperature and the atoms arrange themselves in their permanent shape. So there are permanent coding and permanent shaping of molecules in the austenitic phase. So in the picture we can see the transformation range. So the temperature is shown in the red color, that is very high temperature, up to 1100 degrees we can take from 725 degrees. Then a straight wire is induced in the austenitic phase, that is no inclusions have been added here. So this is the step 1 range of austenitic phase. Next one is the martensite phase. So it consists of low temperature compared to austenitic phase, and it has some cubic structures, and those are filmed and twinned. So twinning means it is bending into some other shapes. So linearity here is missing here. So the straight wire here is bending into some other forms, and it forms finally a cubic structure. So cube is formed here, and this is the step 2 of the shape memory alloys, that is the martensitic phase. Third one is the bending the wire, and it remains in its martensitic phase only. So then again the wire is bended into some other shape, and the bend of the wire has been taken by the martensitic phase into the straight one, that is step 3. And last step is the austenate phase. Then we again heat the wire above the transition temperature of 50 degrees, and it moves back to its original shape. So when we raise the temperature from the martensite to the austenate range, we can develop the temperature and we can develop the transformation here. So by developing this transformation, the structure have been originated from the original shape. So this is the different types of steps here. So step 1 is the austenitic phase, and step 2 is the martensitic phase. Third one also transformed austenitic stage, and fourth one is the austenitic phase. So these three phases have been included here. So this is the steps included in the types of austenitic ranges. So these have been developed in the shape memory alloys. So this is the first topic in the shape memory alloys.